Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute rant. And the topic of this one is three individuals who I believe have been doing virtue signalling so much that their real intentions have actually shone through. And those people are Mhairi Black and Stephen Flynn at the Houses of Parliament in Westminster in the middle of the week, and the following day Ross Greer with his actions outside Holyrood. Now, these types of people always want to appear as lefty, cuddly, woke as they can possibly be, and will fall on any side of any debate, regardless of the reality of the situation, on whatever they believe is to be the most woke side to be on. We all know these types of people. Most of them work for the SNP and the Greens. And sometimes their true intentions actually end up shining through, as I said previously. So I'll look at them individually. And the first one's Mhairi Black. Now, Mhairi was part of the debacle, the most embarrassing scenes I've ever seen at Westminster, with all the MPs having a bun fight over a motion about a ceasefire in Gaza. And what Mhairi totally missed the point of, she actually believes it is possible to have a ceasefire without asking Hamas to take part. When she was challenged on this, she said the people Hamas are not the people of Palestine. Now, she might or might not have a point, but we also get told it's not the people of Palestine that invaded Israel on the 7th of October. So therefore, if that wasn't the people of Palestine and it was the people of Hamas, and there is a distinction in Mhairi's eyes and they are two separate entities, then the war is simply with Israel and Hamas. So to think that you can have a ceasefire without having any ceasefire request to Hamas shows you how idiotic you are. And what I believe is, it shows her true intentions are not actually for a ceasefire at all, are not actually for Hamas to put down their weapons. She just basically wants Israel, one side of this conflict, to stop fighting. And this is a theme that I see repeated, not just by her, and to be fair, not just by the SNP. Politicians around the world seem to have this ethos behind their thinking. But Mhairi made it quite clear that her version of a ceasefire in no way whatsoever has to or must include Hamas. So they're allowed to keep fighting in Mhairi's wee world. This, to me, is completely alien to any normal common sense or logic that you would expect one side in a fight not to have to stop fighting to enable a ceasefire. Now, the second candidate for the woke awards, but the truth shining through for the week, is Stephen Flynn, the leader of the SNP at Westminster. Now, as we know, SNP on their opposition day wanted to put through a motion for a ceasefire in Gaza. And we heard them in the run-up about how nobody should be able to stand in the way of this, and a ceasefire is the most important thing, blah, de blah, 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 right? And during the arguments for this, Stephen Flynn stood up in Westminster and went off his nut, right? And what he went off his nut as was a procedural thing, which the argument is, on one side, their motion should have been read out first and voted on, then Labour amendment to that, which should be voted on. That's what the SNP wanted to happen. What the Speaker proposed was voting on the amended version by Labour first, and then the SNP's one. Now, to me, I don't really care. If I'm going into the House of Parliament and my ambition that day is to walk away with a motion of a ceasefire in Gaza accepted by Parliament, my job's done. And that is what Stephen Flynn and the SNP led us all to believe. They weren't politicising anything in their mind. They were going down to do the good thing for the poor people of Gaza. And we were all to think they were very noble. However, Stephen Flynn lost the plot. And what he lost the plot about was the order of these motions, without any consideration for what he was actually saying. Because what was most important to Stephen Flynn on that Wednesday night was his motion getting read out first, not the ceasefire. He was more upset about the procedure through Parliament than actually getting a motion on the table, get everybody in the House, vote on it, and then government in the UK would be pushing for a ceasefire, because that's what the SNP told us they wanted all along. But they spent most of Wednesday night arguing, and if you don't take my word for it, go and watch it back and think about what I'm saying here. How Stephen Flynn acted on the floor of the House of Parliament on Wednesday. So don't come onto my TV, Stephen, and tell me how important these people in Gaza are to you, because the only thing that's important to you is you and your party. And that whole stunt on Wednesday was nothing but a stunt, and you showed yourself up for what you are. You left that house more upset that your wee motion didn't get to get voted on than the fact there should have been, can we just get some agreement in this house that this is what we're going to do? And you spent all day arguing about it and forgetting about the people of Gaza. So don't ever tell me where you want to happen in Gaza. You don't deserve an opinion on it anymore. And the third virtual signalling, tree-hugging, lefty wokeness award nomination for the week goes to Ross Greer, the Green Party, Scottish Green MSP, who has been voted in twice to Holyrood. On the first occasion in 2006, he got there, he came 7th place out of 7 in the West of Scotland regional vote, and he managed with a massive achievement of attracting 800 votes. 2016 got voted in. Then he done a wee bit better the next election, to be fair to him. He came 5th out of 7 available Scottish West of Scotland seats in the regional vote, and he got a massive number of 1,200 votes this time. That's that Ross Greer, right? And he is famous for having the most parliamentary meetings than anybody else last year, because Ross is due his voice with his massive following that he's got in the West of Scotland. And I reckon if I wanted to, and I certainly don't, but if I could get on a regional list, which I don't think I could, because I think you need to be a party to do that, going into my 2 local pubs, I could get more than 800 and 1,200 votes, right? So that's how much people want you in the House of Commons, in the Scottish Parliament. Now, your nomination for the Wokeness Award for the week is for your behaviour outside Holyrood on yesterday, till Wednesday. And you were part of a protest which didn't want to let apprentices from some companies that you decided were defence companies, they were wanting to take their apprentices in and reward them. You decided that this was Parliament allowing arms dealers, your words, into Parliament, and you decided to stop that. Now, despite that being totally against the Parliament rules for anybody wishing to have protests outside the Parliament, and you should be well aware of your role as an MSP, that stopping Parliament doing its business and stopping people getting access is actually against almost every rule in the book. You broke it, right? You quite clearly on Twitter claimed that that was the aim of your protest, to stop people, the public, allowed to get into their own Parliament, because the Parliament is not for the MSPs, the Parliament is for the people of Scotland, and you deliberately pre-planned to stop that happening, and indeed that happened, because you blockaded, and you and your entourage blockaded the front doors of Holyrood. Now, that's not why you're getting nominated for the Woke of the Week award, right? The reason you're getting the Woke of the Week award nomination is for what you said with the tannoy at your mouth. Because again, you're one that will take to every opportunity to tell us there must be an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, under the pretense that everybody should stop fighting. However, it's there in public record, I've got a copy of it, you with the megaphone screaming out at the end of your tirade of nonsense, talking about arms dealers and how you should be boycotting them after 75 years of oppression and all this pish that you wanted to spout. You came out with some pretty damning words, damning for you. Your last 4 words were victory for Palestine. Sorry, 6 words. Victory for Palestine, followed by victory for humanity. That tells me 2 things about your way of thinking. You don't want a ceasefire in this world. You want a victory for Palestine, which would entail Hamas winning. That's why your ceasefires that you people want do not include Hamas. Because what you want, your words, tannoy, a public display, victory for Palestine. And the second thing you said was even more worrying. Victory for humanity. So in a war between Israel and Palestine / Hamas, however you want to name it, you obviously want the second lot, Hamas/Palestine, to win. And you term that a victory for humanity. Ergo, you think anybody on the other side is not humane. You, my friend, are not only an idiot, but you are a racist. You want one side to win in a sectarian war. You are anti-Semitic. You, Stephen Flynn and Mhairi Black, are all of the above. And I hope that the first two, Black and Flynn, well, to be fair, Black's out anyway. She's not standing for election at the next one. But I hope Stephen Flynn gets horsed out of Westminster at the up-and-coming election. And I hope Mhairi Black, if her ambition is to return to Scotland and stand as an MSP at the next Scottish election, she gets horsed out there as well. And you, Mr. Greer, you'll probably squeeze in the back door again using the shitey West Region thing where you're, I don't know, either side of 1,000 votes and get another, 80 grand a year for 5 years because you're a roaster. And the three of you are complete roasters. Okay? If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe and notification, join us in the chat please, it's always good banter. But most importantly of all, for every single person in the world apart from Mhairi Black, Stephen Flynn and Ross Greer, have a great day. Cheery bye now.